Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 13th of July, 2024. And we have back with us again, Jim Charles, there
Hello.
in Rochester, in his living room with a lot of people. So welcome, Jim. How are you? And we
Good.
have a pretty full room here. So I'll just announce who's in my room and you can announce who's in your room. I have Dawn, Jim, well, that's you, myself, Alan, Angie, Barbara, Christine, Joan, Luke, Mary, Michael, Radha, Safira, Susan, Wendy, and Yad. And I think a couple people fell off and they'll be back shortly. Who do you have over there with you?
I have Ginny, Donna, and Blair.
Oh, welcome, everyone.
Yes, Ginny's a first-time person here, and we welcome her.
Great. And we have our lovely people in the YouTube room, which, did you see, Alan? I got it. Didn't happen. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's just when you push to go live on YouTube, the window to YouTube also opens and it starts talking, and then it creates a feedback loop, and it's very, very upsetting. So somehow after 10 years, I've finally somehow by what I'm talking there. See, there it goes. I somehow almost mastered it, but it's not as bad as it was. So I'm gonna take that as a win. So anyway, okay. Angie has some announcements. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Okay. Angie
Two L's make a W.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, okay, great.
Go ahead.
So, wow. Okay.
Yeah, wow. About it's just when you push to see, there it goes. I'm gonna mute it. I have to mute it because if I touch it, it starts going. Okay.
All right, there it is.
There you go.
All right. Good morning, everyone. We are 26 days out from our gathering in beautiful Canandaigua Lake at Ononda Park. Very, very excited about this, and the energies and, just moving past the 7-7 portal into the 8-8 portal. I mean, the energies are going to be amazing. We have our great friend Rob Gothier coming, and we have Krishna Priya, myself, Jim. Of course, Jim is like number one. And so, yeah, very, very excited about this. If you are interested and still want to come, please send an email to classes@hucolo.org. I will get the information on how to join us for this beautiful gathering. It's going to be amazing in the sense that there's, as well as the beautiful amenities of the park, camping, swimming, just being with everyone else. We'll also have the gathering of beautiful energies. So of the people, this is what I'm very excited. I'm very excited to meet some of our online friends that we have not yet met in person, including Krishna Priya. I'm very excited about that.
Very. And also, I talked to Rob Gothier last night, and he is really looking forward to coming. His son is very ill right now, so he had to cancel one of his sessions in Massachusetts or Connecticut or something to stay with his son in the hospital. His son's lung collapsed, so please pray for him. His name is Jeremy. Yeah. And but he's very excited about coming to the gathering, and he is looking forward to bringing a lot of information with him. I don't know what that is yet. We're going to discuss that again on Tuesday. And I'd like to discuss with Krishna Priya what she's bringing to this gathering as well in other other forms. We know what it's all about, but how it's all come together, the spirit must guide and direct. So
great. Perfect.
Very good. So if you are interested in joining us for this amazing gathering, you can visit the website hucolo-gathering.com. And our beautiful friend Jim also has a website up and running now. It is jim-charles.com as well. Take a look at both and see if you are led to join us.
Good.
Okay.
Excellent.
Good. All right, so we will start with some blessings and we will go in this order. Don, Susan, Wendy, Alan, Angie. Don, Susan, Wendy, Alan, Angie. Did I say it right? Did I do it twice the same? If I didn't, just stay with me. Just go with what I said the last time. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. Pashna horam la akashara roma akaishe ba suala. Neo kosh na aurora. Kiaro auroram aseo kumon. Sialu na hashet ware. Tara uma saewa. Namaste.
In this day and age, the sky has many messages and many eyes. All are looking at this planet so that it may come to grips with itself. They are all praying. They are all meaning well. And so as we move forward, remember that the whole universe is keeping you in prayer. Please accept that energy.
Susan, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I'll start again. Tia sukutia tia sikia tukua, hitia yesia tuku tia sikia tutusia, hititia yekia utoa, hitia zia, hiasia hia kutu yetitia yokukia yetikitia, hiasaya kua, hitia yekia. Blessings.
As was predicted in the past, this era of time is very tumultuous, but it is going to clear out eventually. But at first, it will be very difficult for many beings. Pray and keep in touch with God. Let him guide your pathway so that you will stay out of harm's way, so that you will be in the place where you need to be at the right time. God is guiding and directing his people. Do not doubt that. He is always with you.
Hari huira mahai tuturia na mapato isu tuturia na mahata yen ye tuturia pa haru nia apoto ho kai ni tuturi pa pa pai ta to ni ti ta to ye mama e tuturia na ma ju kwam wa ni no huro tu kwa. Blessings.
The Spirit is moving upon the planet's face and upon the people thereof. And he is going to pick out those that need to rise up and become part of a greater mission for God. It is time for the world to change, and that change is inevitable. It is time for things to happen that people will not understand, but eventually it will come to good. For all things work together for good in the name of the Lord our God. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Kana to kana kono karoto shana kono koshono konara kusana ayarako kono shana kono uasayatana kono sotono kuna kono to Bring forth those that need healing Bring forth those that are weak in spirit. They shall be healed if they have the faith. God will work with them, Jesus, all the gods that are, and God is the only one that is at the head. But there are many that believe in many different beings and spirits. So it is that you choose who you want to bring forth into your life. But God is behind all of them. God, the one God of all of the universe, is the true God. And he will bless you and keep you, heal you, manifest with you, touch you, and bring you about and bring you into the vision of the new world that is coming. It is he that is in charge. Mankind is in charge of this world at the moment, but not for much longer. And so peace will be coming, but not quite yet. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind, so that you are able to understand what is happening to this realm at this time. Much love to you and peace. May God be always with you.
Atutura sanaa. Muhuti iya aya tata. Urosututura Adonai titi iria. O ora sana. Uti iya mo otono.
Clear your thoughts and your mind. Bring only in the spirit. Bring only in those thoughts that are true. For those things that distract you and are not true will bring you down. It is a time when distraction is part of our everyday lives, and we must learn to worship God without them.
Thank you. So, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, let me go through the requests that we have. And we'll start with Elijah. And I just have to read back. I have Nef from the Sasquatch, Saint Germain, Dizdu or Takur, an RH negative expert, the Atlantian Council, Toth, someone to talk about the sun and why it's white, not yellow, Pele. Is that right, Susan? Pele?
Yes, the goddess Pele.
Okay, thank you. And Lakesh to speak on exopolitical developments related to energy shifts.
Okay.
And did I miss anyone? Did I miss anything? I said Saint Germain, yeah. I don't think I missed anybody.
All right.
All right.
That's quite a group.
Yes.
Interesting group. Okay, very good. Let's see who's coming in.
Okay, wonderful.
Greetings. I am Elijah. Hold fast that which is good, and know not deceit in your life. For you must always be looking, and looking within to find what is true. For this is the day and age that there are many things out there that are not true, but can sound very true. Intellectual garbage, intellectual babble that says it's spiritual, but if you really define it, it is nothing. It's air. It's nothing to actually listen to. Listen to the voice of God within your meditation. Go deep, because God is in the silence. He is not in the loud noises. He is not in the banging and clanging. He is in the silence, and that is how he communicates the best. And that is why meditation is important, Meditation is necessary for all peoples because it brings you close to God and brings you close to his heart and to his understandings and what he feels like inside of you. Now, some of you say, when I get to that place where there is silence, I hear nothing. There is nothing there. But that is when God is speaking. So just be calm, be relaxed, and let God do what he needs to do with you, because he is penetrating through your soul and through your spirit the messages he needs to get to you. Remember that he is part of you and he wants you to shine your light. He wants you to be the example to the world. He wants you to be all that is best for you. He does not want you to live a life of sadness, sorrow, or negativity. He wants you to become the fullest person that you can be so that you can reach out into the world and bring those that are needing close and show them what God can do. Show them the healing power of God. Show them the tranquil peace of God and the love that he has, the salvation that he brings. But it is time for people to understand that all belief systems are connected in one way or another, because the one God is the one God. And there is no other gods except for the negative ones to worship. And so bring the loving one God into your life and get close. Become as close as you can to that being, because he is the one that will love and guide. He is the one that will protect. He is the one that will keep you out of harm's way. He is the one that will show you where to go when the time is necessary. Loving God is not wrong. Loving God is filled with great mystery, but it is also filled with great reward, because he will bring you through to something greater than what you imagine for yourself. You cannot imagine what God has for you, because your appearance and belief about yourself is limited. But God's belief about you is not limited. And so therefore, let God unlimit you and bring you into your fullness as he wishes. Let yourself go and be not distracted by the world. Be not distracted by the things that do not matter. Be not distracted by those channels that cannot reach God, but are just talking intellectual babble. Bring yourself into the knowledge that the truth is simple. The truth is loving. The truth is peaceful. The truth is everlasting and will always be that way. God is not going to complicate his word to make it sound as if he is something different than he is. He already knows who you are. He already wants you to know who he is. Why would he complicate it? He does not want to do that. He wants to bring you into a life of simplicity. Of course, there will be work, of course, but he wants to bring you into a life that will bear fruit, a life that will bring you happiness and joy, and will bring others into that same kind of a lifestyle. He is working to build his children into those leaders that are necessary for the time at hand. Bear in your heart the love of God and fear him. Fear him not in the way of being afraid, but fear him in the way of obedience. That is what the word in the Bible means, is to obey God. To fear God is to obey God, not to be afraid of him, but to obey him, to give him what he wants, to understand what he needs, to know him for what he is. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful message.
I am Nef. Someone has called me.
Yes, I believe that was Blair, and he's coming up right behind you. So we'll just give him a moment. But for those who don't know you, would you say who you are and where you're from, and just give us your...
I will tell you who I am. I
Please.
am a Sasquatch, or what you would call it, not a Yeti. Yetis are different. Bigfoot are also a little different, but we're in the same family line.
Mhm.
A Sasquatch is in mostly Canadian areas, and some are in other areas such as Florida and Georgia. We have been all over the place, and we do have the ability to move from place to place. I do not want to tell you where I am right now because it would not matter. You would not be able to find me anyway. But I can tell you that we are looking at this planet not as a home, but as a place where we can help the humans here. We are trying to build energy platforms for this planet. And yes, we do not appear to humans very often. And we are frightened of humans actually because they're violent. And so we usually disappear before they have a chance to see us. So I am here to talk to you and answer questions about our beingness. We are friendly. There are some Sasquatch that are not friendly, but they choose not to come to this planet because they find this planet to be disgusting. Well, it is in many ways, but we are coming here to change that. We are coming here to bring peace and love and joy to this planet. We are not here to bring violence. We are not here to bring anything negative to this world. However, our appearances do cause negativity, and we are sad for that. Some people will say that we are trying to hurt them or kill them or whatever, but we are not trying to do that. That is why you see us very little, is because we don't want to bring forth that kind of thought process. We don't want to bring forth a thought process that would be negative about us. But we are trying to make platforms of energy that are peaceful. And we have been able to do that in Canada, mostly in Canada, and in the northern regions of the United States. There are some places in the Everglades that we were able to build some energy places as well. Also, we are not only in the United States, but we are in Europe and other places as well. But we do not tend to go to places such as China or the Orient. They do not see us the same way. So we have appeared there a few times, but we are not welcome there as much as we are welcomed here. And not to say that we are welcomed here that much, but more people call on us from this area.
Okay,
Question.
perfect. Thank you so much. Blair does have a question. Go ahead, Blair, whenever you get a chance.
Greetings, Nef. Thank you.
Come closer.
Can you please come closer? Yes, thank you.
Greetings, Nef. Thank you very much for coming to visit us and speaking.
You are welcome.
I know of you from your good friend Mike, and it's sad for me that humans fear gentle, peace-loving beings like yourself. I see no need for that. And I do see a need for us to understand better how we can accept and receive the help that you want to give our species. And I'm curious, I wanted to ask if you would like to make recommendations about what those of us who support your presence and believe can do to better receive what you're offering.
One moment. There's someone trying to stop me from speaking. I was fine up until that point. But yes, I think I got the gist of your question. We are trying to stop the fear. We are trying to stop that with our energy platforms. You need to understand, or this planet does need to understand, that aliens are not always negative. And there are many people that believe that we are a positive group, but there are more that believe we are a negative group. Therefore, we must bring the energy of positivity to this world so that they see us for what we really are and what we truly have to offer. There are times when we feel like we cannot get through. There are times when we feel like there's too much violence on the planet and we cannot make ourselves known during those times. The energy is too strong. The karma in the air, it gets to us. We are not used to negative karma or polluted airwaves such as you have. There's too many the waves in the air. So we can't even stay on this planet for long periods of time without going back to our headquarters. Our headquarters are inside the planet, of course, but we cannot be in your atmosphere for a long time because of all these radio waves and all the G5s and whatever they are, 5G energy waves. And there's so much more going on there. There's a radar, sonar. The planet is being surveyed constantly. And so we want to make some friends with the people of the earth, but it's very difficult sometimes when there's so much going on that they are actually preventing us from being on the planet to some extent. We can survive for a while on the planet's surface, but you don't see us very often because that's one of the reasons why. Plus the fact that we cause fear in many people. But you will know that we are real when you see pictures that show that the knee area can bend forward and backwards. I mean, it's a different kind of knee than what you have. And so your human knees are very different, and you will see that the motion of a human knee. But when you see a Sasquatch or those beings that are not from your planet, the knee moves backwards and forwards for maneuverability. You will be able to see that very clearly when we're moving. So those are the ones that are really, truly Sasquatch or Bigfoot. I don't think I answered all of your questions. Is there something else you want to know?
I welcome your friendship and gesture of wanting to help humanity, and the urging calm or understanding on behalf of other humans to help us all move there is my primary interest.
Yes.
Your communication is very clear, and thank you for describing your locomotion style. How else are your Sasquatch families similar to or different from human families?
Well, we're very tall, for one thing. We're much taller than humans by at least 6 or 7 inches. And we move very quickly. And it would seem like we're very ponderous because we are heavy. But we're from a planet that has lighter atmosphere and less gravity, so we need to be heavier. On this planet, we sort of are more ponderous because the gravity is a little stronger. So you will see us we try to move really fast, but the gravity keeps us from going as fast as we actually could go. The other thing is the head structure. The head structure is very different than human head structure. It's more like it's a little bit more elongated head structure than humans have, although it has eyes and nose and mouth. It does not have much for hearing because we do more telepathic communications with our people than we do with actual speaking. We do have languages, but they are not always used. We do more telepathic methods for communication with each other. And so we don't need the ears as much, but we do need them on this planet. So we use technology to hear for us on this planet. Did that answer your question?
Yes, very much. Also, please, thank you for elaborating about the physical. How about your actual family structures? Is your family structure similar to humans? The way that you gather together and reproduce and grow as your own species? How is that similar or different from humans?
Our family structure is similar. That is something that is similar. We do have families. We take wives or husbands if you're a woman, female version. And but we are not like humans in the sense that we have one wife or one husband, because what? Hello?
Continue. It's okay.
All right. We do not have one wife or one husband because the traveling that we do keeps us apart from families sometimes, but we do reproduce the same way. And we do have more than one wife usually, because one wife will be over here in one area of the universe and another wife will be here on this planet doing this work or whatever. And yes, we do have children, and we do try to keep in touch with our children as much as possible and bring them here actually for learning experiences. Now, our children are much larger. We don't bring them here until they're at least adolescent age, and they are pretty big at that time. So they look like full-grown Sasquatches or Bigfoots or whatever you want to call them. And they are able to learn what is going on, and we will teach them many things.
Thank you. How can we humans who welcome your presence here best prepare for the telepathic communication that's optimal for?
Well, you are now going through the change of evolution that will bring you into telepathic structures in your mind. You are already going through that. Those of you that have psychic energy working, those of you that are working with the consciousness, those of you that are working with magic and other things are homing in on the third eye consciousness, the third eye understanding. And so this is where all this will come from, is the third eye. The telepathy will come from that area. And so you're already being more empathic than you have been in many hundreds of years. The last 30 years, mankind has become more empathic, able to feel other people's energies than ever before in this existence of yours. And so that is the first step to becoming telepathic. Healing is another way to become telepathic. Your healing energies can unite with the energies of someone else, and that is a form of telepathic energy, moving one energy to another. And it is very vital that that energy does its work by relaxing and calming that individual so that they can accept the healing the way that they should. And this is a form of telepathy as well. Healing is a form of telepathy because you are bringing your mind into the work of the symbols, the work of the healing of the hands on the body or above the body. And it is a way for you to communicate with the body without speaking.
Thank you. Thank you. I understand. Well, yes.
Can we allow some other people to ask some questions and then have you come back in a few moments? Because normally we do about 2 questions per person, if that's okay.
Of course.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll move on through the other people just to give them all a chance, because there's about 7 questions here, and then we'll come right back to you, Blair, okay?
Hmm.
All right, Michael has a question. Go ahead, Michael.
Greetings.
Greetings.
I have a small percentage of Sasquatch DNA in me, and I do have a portal in my backyard, and it's a lot of country, a bunch of, but I feel presence, not always. And I have sent crystals and gifts out, where my chickens are, where I put them in a coop. But I do feel that there is a family of Sasquatches that come very rarely, and I've seen them at night. I've heard them, but could you give me anything on that?
Yes, it is true that in your area there are some Sasquatch, and there is a headquarters nearby you, not right on top of you, but you're in the Midwest. And so, is that correct?
North Carolina.
Yes. Oh, yes. There are many areas in that area that in the forest areas. So it is good that you can feel them. They do come out at night more generally because that way they cannot be spotted and they can set up the work that they need to do on this planet, the energy fields and the things of that nature. So yes, and with you having a little bit of DNA of theirs, it will make you more honed into them. You will feel their energies. They are very positive. They're very friendly, but they give you a sense of calm, do they not?
Yes, absolutely.
And they give you a sense of don't worry, we're all right, and you'll be
Yes.
yes. This is the kind of things that they will send to you if you do have Sasquatch DNA. Now, Sasquatch DNA can also be very violent, depending on what kind of Sasquatch DNA you have from different parts of the planet that we are from. But it seems that you have the more calm one, which is good. There are some that are what we call the violent forms of the Sasquatch that are Yeti. You've heard of Yeti, the white ones?
Yes.
Those are violent. They're a violent species. They
Hmm.
guard the temples of Shambhala because they no one is to get near Shambhala. So they
In
have
the Himalayas.
in the
Yes.
Himalayas, yes. And no one is to get near Shambhala. So they will take care of anyone that gets too close. And so, but they are very violent. They will rip you apart. So they do not care about humanity. They don't care about what happens to humanity. They only care about being the mercenaries that they are. They're being paid well to do what they do. So there are those that are negative and different kinds of species than we are.
And last question, the Shangri-La, or however you say it, I feel
Shambhala.
that they're different beings than Yetis, but Yetis, could you tell us what kind of beings that are in Shangri-La? It's like a lotus, if I see it correctly, in the Himalayas, a place.
They are alien. They are not Yeti. They are not the Yeti are guarding them, but they are not Yeti themselves that are in Shambhala or Shangri-La, whatever you want to call it. There are other different kinds of aliens, and there are a few different ones there. But they are not as friendly. They don't want to interact with humanity at the moment. They have their missions. They are sending out positivity in some ways to the planet, but they do not want to personally interact with them right now. It is not their time, and they are not really welcome on this earth. So they are sending out what they can from the Himalayan area, what they call the Himalayas. They call it Himalayas. We call it Himalayas.
Okay. Well, blessings, and that was very informative. Thank you so much. I'm going to move on and let someone else. Thank you so much. Blessings.
Blessings.
Okay, great. All right, perfect. It is Susan that has a question. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello, welcome, Nef. So I've channeled the Sasquatch named Sally. I call her Sally the Sasquatch.
Yes.
And she was, I think, an expert with like plant medicines, and I know Wendy's connected with her etherically. That she's visited like in a etheric form, where Wendy has smelled her scent and everything when she's visited. And I'm just wondering if you have a message from her, perhaps for us, but also if you can explain more about like into your interdimensional travel. I've heard you can shift between like third dimension and fourth dimension, and that you do have a planet of your own that you
Yes.
reside in, but you kind of shift dimensions to come and visit Earth and can appear in physical form as well as etheric form. If you can explain more about how that works, and then also how you work with Gaia and the nature beings on the planet to keep things in balance and communicate. I'm assuming you communicate telepathically, but just some like how you're working, with the beings on the planet to help keep that nature balance, so to speak.
Well, first of all, we've studied your planet for many hundreds of years. So we know your plant life, we know your animal life, we know your beingness, how you've changed, how you are interactive with the earth, how Gaia is performing. We know all about the herbs and the healing remedies that are on the planet and will that help humanity. We are also working to bring forth the information to some in their mental states through telepathy, if they can receive it, how to use plants better and how to use them in more healing senses, what plants to mix together to make more powerful healing antidotes, etc. Also, we are here to communicate with some of humans about what their missions are and give them information about how to move forward. But we are not here to be your guides. We are not here to be those that are going to be the most communicative to your planet. We are here to bring the energies that will align things on this planet. The energies that we bring will align mind, body, soul, spirit, and emotions within humanity. And that is what we're looking for, the balance. We're looking for balancing of the nature of humanity because it's way off balance. This planet is way off balance in the universe. If you would look at this planet in the sense of what it sounds like, its sound that it's giving off into the universe, it would be a very off-key sound because it is not balanced. It is not in tune with the universe, and we need to bring that vibration back in tune with the tonality and songs of the universe. You may not think that that is an important thing, but the sound of the universe must stay in key. Otherwise, the balance is thrown off through many different areas, galaxies and dimensions and densities. You have to understand this planet is affecting many other densities and dimensions and planets. So, being that you are so off kilter and your vibration is so off key that it is causing much problem. So we're trying to align that vibration in all peoples. Right now, we are reaching out to the war zones. Right now, we're reaching out to the political areas. Right now, we are reaching out to groups of individuals that come together in a very positive light so that they can work together in a greater way and bring them oneness and unity so that more light can be shed on this planet and more information can be given to this planet, because more information is not necessary at this time because your planet is already misusing all the information that it has. So we are here to balance communications. We are here to balance the energy, balance the thought process, balance all the things that are necessary for this planet to survive. So this is the reason why we're setting up our energy fields the way we are, to bring them into the proper megahertz and vibrations. I cannot tell you what that is because it's different for every human slightly, but there is a one that we send out with a changing vibration that will help to bring all people into the thought processes that we are doing. It is not mind control, but it is mind stimulus in a positive way. Now, there is mind control going on this planet, and we're trying to stop that. Our stimulus would break that if you would accept it. There are many people that have accepted the mind control of the planet. And so we cannot get to them without them agreeing to accept the positivity that we're giving them to break it. So we are trying to fight against that which is evil on your world, or what you would call evil or negative. And it is very difficult because many have accepted it and believe that it is the norm. Your culture is the norm, and it is not. The activities of your people are not normal.
Thank you for that information. Just one more question. So I know I've heard with Lionsgate, with the 8-8 energies coming in, that it'll cause like a solar flash, solar shift of energy. It's going to be high vibrational energy coming in with the Lionsgate. And are you doing any, with some of the work that you're doing, is it going to help? Is it helping to prepare the planet for this influx of high vibrational light that will be coming in, that will hopefully help awaken some of humanity, and those that are already awakened will perhaps have an easier time of it, integrating that energy, as opposed to those that haven't done, I guess, preparation work to bring that energy into their being, I guess.
We work with all high energy fields that are positive. Solstices, equinoxes, Lionsgate, the 7 vortexes. We work with all the things that align with humans in their thought process to be meaningful. And we bring that into as high positivity factor as we can. That means that those things that you believe in that are very positive, we will engage in that and bring it even into a greater positivity than what you believe that it can be, because we need to work on those different areas so humanity can move forward. There are many of you here, in fact, all of you here, have missions and are being guided in one way or another. Please be aware that the positive energies, not only from us, but from other beings around your planet and in the universe, are working to guide and direct those of you that are aware of positive energy and aware of these energy fields. We will work through them to get to you, to bring mental images, to bring dreams, and to bring visions, to bring information, to bring positivity in the sense of telepathy and healing. So we are working to bring this planet into a higher register of beingness. And right now it is very, very divided and very shifted. There are some very, very, very positive beings, and there's some very, very, very negative beings. And we want to get to these negative beings and turn off their power, because they are enhancing negativity on the planet, and they're enhancing that which needs to be destroyed. So we are trying to bring as much positivity through the portals, through the alignments as we can, the solstices, the equinoxes, the vortexes that you have in your areas. The one person was telling us, Michael was telling us about He's close to a vortex. Yes, use the vortex, take the energy from it, use it, become more positive, be less angry. Yes. Anger is not going to be the answer, because anger is a negative. Not everyone is against you. Do not be paranoid against the world. Be paranoid against nothing, because you have nothing to fear. God is on your side. So we trying to take these negative emotions away from people, so they understand that they are not what is necessary for this world to rise. Anger is not the answer. Hatred is not the answer. Negativity is not the answer, because only in proving that negativity can be used in a just way is it even necessary. But that is a class that I must teach.
Yes, we would love you to have you come back again. Thank you for all your insights. Much love to you and blessings.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Let's see who was next. It was Barb. Oh, I skipped Barbara. Barbara, you're next, and then we'll go to Alan and then Dawn. Okay. Barbara?
I have a question. I'm just curious because we're going to a retreat next month in August up there in Canandaigua. How would one request a Sasquatch to come to that retreat? Not for the whole group, but for like somebody in the woods that want to talk with the Sasquatch. How would I request that or ask for that?
Well, first of all, we do have our missions that we have to carry out, and so we will do that first. But if we have some people in that area, which we do, that have some free time, we will go to this gathering. We see that it is a positive thing. We see that it has, we already sense the excitement for it and the positivity that is coming to it. So we will enforce that. We will bring energy to it, and we will visit if we can.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all, Barbara? Okay. All right,
Thank you.
Alan. Okay, thank you. Alan, go ahead.
Greetings. I'd like to ask, what thought processes or mindsets would you advise for humans wishing to engage in a way of being that is of heightened neutrality? In addition, what advice would you give to best help diagnose and bypass assumptions of bias that are projectory in nature, but are a hindrance to true communication and understanding between different beings?
All right, you have to understand what the energies are in order to do that. You must understand what energies are being focused on to bring you into these different areas of understanding. First, positivity. I heard you mention neutrality. I don't know if neutrality is an area that you want to go to necessarily, because it is between the light and the dark, and it never stays. You cannot ever be neutral. You can never stay in that state. You either go to the positivity or the negativity. If you decide not to decide, you've already decided. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was more talking about in terms of when, let's say, for example, humanity interacting with beings like yourselves, to get rid of the assumptions and to have to actually interact with the being, as opposed to interaction with the projected assumption, oh, they're this, they're that, so I have to act this way.
You have to understand who we are, and that we are positive. You see, humanity does not look at us as a positive group. We're interfering with what they're doing. We're interfering with their negative mission. So we're bringing positivity to this realm, and they don't like it. But we would like to advance our communications with those of you that wish to communicate with us. That is fine. We are all for that. But the way to bring us into more of a contact with those of the normal, average human being is to let them know that we have never hurt anyone. Even though some may say that we came against them or ran toward them or whatever, we have never hurt anyone ever. We are not planning to hurt anyone ever. We are only here to bring forth positive energy. I would like them to see us as they would see themselves from outside of themselves. If you were an alien looking at yourself, how would you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a regular, normal human being? How do you see what you look like compared to what aliens look like, what we look like, how we act? You are very similar to us in many ways. We are trying to break down the barriers of prejudice, because prejudice is where everything comes into hatred. You are taught prejudice. You are taught hatred. You are taught negativity. And we are trying to tear down those walls. And when those walls are torn down, then you get a clearer vision of who we really are. We are friends. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. And I feel like you indeed answered more than that, thankfully. So thank you for that.
I want to know, we know how you feel toward us. Those of you that love us, we know. Those of you that are afraid of us, we know. Those of you that hate us, we know. It is not that we are without discernment in the human culture. We know all that is about humans. We've studied you for thousands of years. But it is not that we know you completely. We cannot. You are all individuals and are very different from one another. But so are we. And so we understand that. But we are trying to bring you all into a oneness state so that at least you can be friendly with one another and us. Continue.
Are you finished, Alan? Is that good? You're good?
Yep, that was it for me.
Okay, great. Don has a question. Go ahead, Don.
Hello, Nef. Nice to meet you.
Great.
I would like to ask you about like radio stations here. They broadcasted around 440 hertz frequency, and to broadcast at 432 hertz is considered to be the normal resonant frequency. Is that correct?
Yes, for most human beings.
Yes, and I was going to ask you also, since you are knowledgeable about the hertz and about the frequencies, we have a question here. Some of us see a yellow sun and some of us see a white sun. Can you tell us what's going on exactly with the sun at this time, please?
Some of you see a yellow sun, some of you see a white sun, some of you see a red sun, some of you see a blue sun. Okay, let me tell you why you see all these different things. First of all, your sun will supernova in about 4.2 million years. That's a long time from now, but it is still, the sun is very, very, very old. And so it's going through old age. 4 million years is nothing to the sun. I mean, it's been through billions and billions of years. So 4 million years is a drop in the bucket compared to what it's been through. So it's reaching old age. As it reaches old age, the yellow sun will turn white, which means it's getting hotter, which means it's a little brighter. It means that it's entering into its senior years. But that's not a problem. And those of you that still see a yellow sun, you may be on a different timeline, but it will change. You will see the white sun. Those of you that see a red sun, you are in a different realm of understanding of what the sun is. And that is fine. The sun is teaching a different version of itself to you. Those of you that see a blue sun, that is what it will look like in the future. The sun will become blue eventually, but it is not blue yet. But those of you that see a blue sun, that is a future version of this planet. The red sun is a past version and a future version of the sun as well. But these different visions of the sun are all real. There are nothing of these things that are not real. But right now, what is most active or most visualized is the white sun, because that's where most mindsets are in the white sun era, in the white sun understanding. And that is where most thought processes are. But you can see the sun in many different ways. And some of you see more than one sun. Some of you see double suns. When you look at the planet, you'll see a sun behind the sun.
Mhm.
That does not mean that there is another sun there. It's not a binary star system by any means, but it is a reflection. It is it's hard to explain. It's a reflection of the universe of the sun, and it is reflecting off some of the things that are going around in your galaxy and even in your solar system. There are very, very large ships that go behind the sun, and you may see a double sun, but you're actually seeing a reflection of a sun in a ship.
Thank you. I have just one more question. Can you tell us, please, what's going on with the sharks in the oceans? They
Yes,
seem to be very agitated lately.
the water is too warm for them. They are not used to the water warming, and this is causing also greater weather hazards. The warming of the water is telling them that a great change is coming, and the weather is starting to change and will be very drastic this year for you. The hurricane season will be stronger than ever before in the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. The water is too warm for them, and it is getting warmer. Global warming will cease eventually, but it will cease suddenly. And that cease will bring on an ice age.
Yeah.
The ice age is coming, but not quite yet.
Thank you, Nef. I appreciate that. Blessings.
Yes, your sharks in the ocean, some of your other fish, they're swimming in circles.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're swimming in circles because they're trying to cool off. It's like the rotation of a fan. It brings cooler, they're getting cooler, they think, but they're actually heating themselves up. But they feel like they're cooler, but with the motion. So they're also in shallow water. They need to go to the deeper waters.
For sure.
So this is, they're too warm. They need to get cooler.
Thank you, Nef. Okay, thank you, Krishna Priya.
Okay. Thank you, Dawn. Okay, Wendy has a question, and then Saphira, and then we'll go to the YouTube chat. Okay.
Greetings, Nef. Well, welcome.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
being here today. Oh, gosh. So I'm always working with plant medicine, and one thing that I've noticed is when I work with Artemisia, mugwort, more commonly known, that my dream time has improved. And the other day I was listening to a meditation on Atlantis, and the Atlantean Council showed up at the end of my bed, and one of them reached out and had a hold of my arm and was lifting me up, and I could physically feel it in my conscious body, not just my high consciousness. So what were they pulling me to, or what were we getting ready to do?
Higher consciousness. The Atlantian Council is about higher consciousness. We are about balancing the energies of this planet. But the Atlantean Council believes that the answer is in higher consciousness, the learning of how to be more conscious and rise above the planet in ways that humans have not yet reached. They want you to learn how to use the third eye better. They want to unlock those mysteries from the past that you do not have access to yet. That's where the Atlantian Council is. So they're lifting people up, bringing them into dream state and visionary states that are different than what they are experiencing in normal 3D. They can help you in understanding what is out here. Yes. I am thinking that it might be a little too soon for some people to see all the things that are out here, but yet they are still ready and willing to do that for you. Whereas we are trying to balance the energies so that the energies can normalize the people. We're not trying to take them into a new realm yet. We're trying to bring them into normality in a very positive way so that they can communicate positively one with another and with all those that are alien and those that are positive beings. The Atlantean Council would skip that and go right into the higher realms, trying to teach the missions through a different access port, through a different understanding of the way people see things. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes, that does. Thank you.
Good. Any more questions?
Yes, Safira has a question.
Thank you. Hello, Nef.
Greetings.
I realize that you can answer one of my questions. So, our scientists here say that the core of the Earth is slowing down to the point of stopping and going in the opposite direction, the very core, that metal ball that's in the middle. I'm sure this has happened before, but the Earth was not populated then, probably. So, do you see that? Do you also see that? And if so, what does that mean? What does that mean for us that that's happening?
Well, first of all, it's so gradual that yes, it is happening, but it's so gradual. In your lifetime, it will mean nothing.
Uh-huh.
It is not that it's going to slow down and stop within the next million years. It's not going to do that. It is slowing a little bit, but the core mass of this planet is still working with the sun, is still working with the gravitational pull of the sun, and still in motion as much as it can. Now, people are saying your planet is speeding up. Yes, the planet is speeding up on the outside, but on the core, it's slowing down. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes, it does. Centrifugal force, yeah.
So, on the outside of your planet, it is speeding up a little bit, but not more than what you might think, a few minutes at most.
Uh,
But still, a few minutes over 100 years makes a huge difference. So we're trying to keep things more in a norm, and so we have actually stopped the axis, helped stop the axis from moving, helped stop the jet stream from being so violently awkward. But your hurricanes will just put it back into a frenzy. So we're trying to do all we can to make things more normal for this planet, but there are things happening, but they're not going to affect this day and age as much as you might think. They're going to slightly affect time. They're going to slightly affect the way people do certain things, but hopefully we'll be able to balance things before things get too far out of hand. And we don't see that happening anytime soon.
thank you so much, Nef.
You're welcome.
Okay,
I'm
thank
done.
you.
Done.
Oh,
Mhm.
sorry, Safira. Okay, Mary has a question. Mary, do you want to ask now or do you want to wait?
She would like to wait.
Okay, no problem. I have some questions from YouTube. We'll come back.
Go ahead. You're not saying anything.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Hamed Wali wants to know, are you a technologically advanced group
Yes.
of beings? Yes.
Absolutely. Otherwise, we couldn't have not made it to this planet. We could have not traversed the dimensions that it took to come to this place.
Mhm.
So yes, we do not show our technology to the humans. We do not show technology to anyone. We want to be seen as more normal. We do not want to be feared. We can change our shape and look more human, but we find that that is even more frightening than our current look. If we look halfway in between human and Sasquatch, we are even more frightening. So we're staying the way that we are.
Okay, and is it, can you, I'm sorry if you had already said this earlier, but what planet are you from?
We did not say what planet we were from.
Would you tell us?
It's a planet that you do know.
Okay, it's a secret planet. Okay.
Well, it's a planet that you know, but we don't want you coming here.
Okay. You spoke about Shambala.
Yeah.
Is this the same birthplace of Lord Kalki? Can you
Yes.
tell us what you know about the return of Lord Kalki?
Yes, he's there.
He's there already. He's already
He's been
returned.
there for a long time.
Okay.
He is one of those that lives for many thousands of years.
Okay. Tay asked, she says she remembers being Sasquatch in a previous life. Could you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your weather and the government in Gemini planet Mintaka?
Mintaka. Yes. First of all, I want to say that I know Tay. I know who she is, and I know how she is connected. And she has a good connection with all the different Sasquatch and Bigfoot species. And she is directly in communication with at least one that I know of. So, yes. And our planet runs, you want to know governmentally?
She said she just wants to know a little about the weather and the government, basically.
The weather there is a little warmer in some places and a little colder in other places. Because we are from the colder area, that's why we have the fur. We prefer to live in the colder regions of our planet, Mantaka. So it is that the weather is very cold in some places, very hot in others, because of the way of the rotation of the planet. The rotation of the planet is not the same as the rotation of your planet. So I will tell you that it rotates much more on an angle than your planet does. Yours is on an angle. Ours is another 45 degrees. And so that creates hotter and colder weather.
Okay.
And
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, in the government,
The
basically.
government is not like yours at all. We have different continents like yours, and they are ruled differently by different kinds of government, mostly councils. We do not have one person in charge. We found that that is the worst possible way to manage a world, is having one person in charge
Okay.
of any area.
All right. Clear. Okay. And let me come back to some more questions here. Can you tell us anything? Oh, no, that's something differently. I'm sorry, I'm scanning through, and that's my dog. I apologize. He's got something in his throat. All right. It is, yeah, okay. Met Wally asked the same question twice. Okay. Just Thinking says, dear Sasquatch or Mr. Sasquatch, can you have a positive effect on a woman's situation, especially in the Middle East? Can you
The
help?
Iranian, right? The Iranian situation.
I probably, but in general, a lot of women are challenged in that area.
Yes, there are
Yeah.
women challenged in that area. It's been like that for hundreds and thousands of years in that area, but it is no longer necessary for that kind of culture to exist. Women are equalizing all over the world, and these people that are in charge of this particular area will start to notice that they are in the past, they are primitive. They are not doing what they need to do. They are actually afraid of women. They are actually afraid that women have more logic and power than they do. They've heard the words of their women and how smart they really are. And they don't want them in control because they want to keep the control. However, yes, this has to be dissolved. It cannot continue to go on. There is no one that can help them but themselves. And they are working diligently to overthrow this power, which has been in control for thousands of years, and manages to keep a strong, firm hold of this area. However, if the women leave, they will have no children. If the women leave, that regime will die. So the women have to leave this area. They have to move out as quickly as they can to different areas. That's the only way to outsmart this regime, because the women are the ones that have the children. And if they have no more children, there will be no more regime.
Okay, thank you for that answer. And I believe,
I know some of them say we can't afford to move out. We are under a strong hold. But where there's a will, there's a way.
yeah.
Get
Okay.
away from these tyrants.
Okay, there are women that I know try to escape.
And the more that do, the better.
Suzanne has said, aren't Sasquatch the true humans before the Anunnaki? DNA was manipulated on the earth?
No, we
No.
are not. There was a creation of the Anunnaki that was called the Grog or something of that nature, which were slaves to the Anunnaki that helped them dig their gold or whatever out of the mines. And they were just smart enough to do the menial tasks that were necessary. We are not part of that group.
Okay. And let me just make sure I don't have any other questions in the room. No, I do not. I believe that's all the questions that I have for you, Nef. Unless Blair has one more question. Go ahead, Blair.
Thank you for making us aware about the suddenness of cooling of an ice age. What's an approximate time frame that could happen within?
Depending on how well you control what you put into the atmosphere here, it's speeding up, meaning that it should have happened in another maybe 200 years. But you are speeding up that process, and it does not look like it will take 200 years for that to happen now. It's going to be much sooner.
Sooner than 100 years?
I would say yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here today.
You are welcome. I've taken up all the time. To
Well,
somebody,
not all the time.
someone else wants to speak, I'm sure.
Please, if you would, please bring someone else through. But thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your wisdom with us.
Excellent. Thank you. Be well, everyone.
And you too.
We are the Atlantian Council.
Hmm.
We have come to stand up for our point of view. Yes, we are here to further the knowledge of humanity, further the knowledge and understanding through consciousness levels. We are here to defend that. We think that this is the way to go. We believe that becoming higher consciousness will bring you into a greater understanding of all things. We understand balancing the energies of the planet, but we think it's far too late for that. We think that that is a futile process. And we think that bringing things into a higher consciousness is the way to go. And that is how we're interacting with humanity. We had to leave this planet at one time because of our own faults, our own problems, and what we caused here. So we have learned many lessons in the meantime. And now we are trying to teach what we have learned to the people here. So the Atlantean Council wants to make it known that yes, we are trying to manipulate those that are higher functioning into an understanding that consciousness can be used to pull yourself out of the dilemma of this planet. Now, it's not too late for people to use this consciousness in a positive way, for oneness, for understanding, for bringing themselves into a higher clarity. And when they bring themselves into this higher clarity, they will have power that they did not have before. And those people that have this power will be seen as great leaders, will be seen as someone to look up to. So we want you to learn these powers so that the world can see what they are, so that they can understand that there are greater consciousnesses out here, that they can see that the greater consciousness is the way to go, that this will affect the way mankind looks at others, including itself. I just needed to bring that point of view here. I know that Sasquatch or Nef spoke of that, but he did not go into detail, and we needed to bring more understanding to it so that you can actually understand where we're coming from.
Perfect. We'll start with Mary and let her ask the questions, and then we'll go to Joan, and then we'll come back to, I believe it was Wendy that requested you. So go ahead, Mary.
Greetings. I would like to ask your expertise on since I lost my husband. It's been a little over a month ago. I have been going through a grieving and a healing process, and I have finally reached a point to where I've started going back into astral, and I feel like that it's a healing part. It's healing me, because I wasn't when the grief was so heavy. And now I'm going back into astral, and now I feel such a difference. I am seeing in my mind telepathically. I can see what people do. I can, like, sometimes they can say that they're doing something, and I can get a visual in my mind of what it was. And I can hear telepathically. I can also hear things. That's different. And I feel like it's a good thing, but I just wanted your opinion on that.
Well, the grief was necessary. The grief was absolutely necessary. You had to go through the grieving process, because otherwise it would hold you back from what you're going through now. You've accepted the grief, you've accepted the death, you've accepted everything that goes with it. Now it is time to go forward from that and advance. And that is what you are doing. And you need to stop the grieving, not completely. There will always be pain there of this loved one or whatever, but it is time to move past that into a greater understanding. The greater understanding is that, yes, there is more to this life than the grief. There's more to this life than the third density. There's more to this life than all the things that you were looking at that point. So, yes, thank you for moving on and allowing it to happen with you, so that you can actually see, and you will move forward continually. And this is part of what we are talking about: the greater vision, the greater understanding. Equalizing the energy is good, but it will take so much longer than doing it the way we would like to do it. So I see it as a good thing.
Well, that's wonderful. And I was just wondering about will things get will I move? Do you see a move in my future, or does it look like I may kind of stay in the area where I am?
That is up to you. You have free will. You have always had free will, but I see that you want to move. I see that there is something within you that needs a change. And yes, if you would like that change to be positive and would like that change to happen, you will acknowledge it and it will happen.
Okay. Well, blessings. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Remember, you have free will.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. From Joan, she has a question about, she says, can you explain where the RH, oh, you okay? Okay.
What's that?
I think someone had a problem muting. It's okay. Can you explain where the RH negative blood in the human blood type? Excuse me, this sentence is not correct. Can you, I think she's saying, can you explain where the RH negative blood came from in the human blood type?
Yeah.
There's about 15% RH negative in human evolution. Can you tell me about the 1% AB negative blood type in human evolution?
The AB negative blood type is alien. Yes. And so is RH negative blood types on your planet. There are many different alien blood types that are blended with your beingness. Yes, it is true that there are several different aliens that have mated in or have blended with this realm and are part of it as DNA. And so if you are part of that 1%, which is the AB negative, you are something of a very special class of individual. You come from many thousands of years ago, from the Lyran and from the more from the very beginning of the blending of these species. The RH negative comes from Pleiadian, Orion, and the Egyptian era sort of understanding. They are the ones that brought the RH negative, as well as the Atlanteans to some extent. We are also responsible in some ways. The Lumerians, they are possibly part of that. So we have not really studied all the DNA on this planet to its finite ending, but we know that there are many different blendings and many different species responsible for the blending and the RH negative blood type. So we know that it's alien, but we cannot specify exactly what alien that is because of the blending that's gone around through many centuries and millennia. So it's turned into a very blended blood type, whereas AB negative is more Lyran, I think, more true alien.
Thank you for that. Let's see. There's a question from Wendy. Go ahead, Wendy.
You. Thank you so much for coming and telling us more about the higher consciousness. So I know I have been working with that, and when I had that dream, I could see like, I don't know, 5 to 7 people standing at the end of my bed. And then somebody took my arm and was raising me up, and I was looking at them all, and I said, wait a minute. But I'm wondering, like, what was I being brought up to or raised up to do?
You're being shown that there is a higher consciousness, that these beings are real, that what you believe is real, that we can give you energies, we can give you support, we can give you the understandings that you need to move this direction. We give you messages from beyond, the visions, the dreams, etc. You are going through that now. It's a higher change. However, it can be brutal on the system and on the mind. Hopefully, it is not that with you. But we are trying to be as easy with the consciousnesses of all as we can be. But it is necessary for us to move quickly. This era of humanity, this stage of mankind will come to an end very shortly if we do not make some inroads.
Oh my goodness, somebody's doggy is barking. Okay. Um, let me just make
Okay,
sure.
yeah,
Go ahead.
that makes sense because I've also noticed that my third eye is more open. I mean, it's open, but I'm getting more wide awake, either eyes open or during meditation, eyes closed, images and messages, and I'm also clairaudiently hearing more as well. So it's like all of them are amped up right now, and I have noticed that. So I imagine working with the council is doing that because of my working with higher consciousness.
Yes, working with higher consciousness is not always easy. You may think it feels good at the time, but what it's bringing is a great deal of energy and information and different things that have to be processed by the mind and through the body and all these different things. It's not only the mind that is changing, but the body is changing as well. We must work with mind, body, soul, spirit, emotions, because it all has to change. Just like the Sasquatch Nef said, balance is important, but we're bringing it into a different way of balancing.
Yes, and actually, if I can share with everyone too, that the part to the body, I mean, literally, my whole body was physically shaking, and at points it almost like arches without my control at all. Like it just happens, and um, it can be very painful at times, and
Yes.
there's definitely it's a process, but understanding it and not being
Well,
in fear about it, and just having love for your body and just making sure you're drinking water afterwards is my
there is
recommendation. If you haven't experienced it yet, that's just from a human point of view.
also there's third strand activity around the planet where the third strand is becoming more available to humanity, and that's very painful as well. Only one human has full third strand activity, but there are many that have 10%, 7%, 20%, 25%. There are many that have activations on the third strand, and it's painful. The third strand activity is painful because it is not part of this earth. It's not part of this realm, and it's not part of this density or dimension. So it is bringing the human into two dimensions at once, which is painful, but actually necessary for these people to rise. So that is what is happening there.
Thank you.
I have a question. Okay, thank you. I'm just going to go quickly because we're running now out of time. I want to ask from Luke. He wants to know, how can we connect better to the higher realms of consciousness and remember more dreams?
Luke, you are going through many different things at this time. I connected with you when she started speaking, and yes, you can connect with higher dimensions without even trying. Just relax. You must relax and connect as you are connecting. There are many that want to speak to you. There are many different dimensions and densities that you are aware of, and they are all coming to you. Just relax. Let them come to you. Allow them to make their inroads. Allow them to do what they need to do. You are part of something that is integral to this planet. You're this integration of all these different elements and beingnesses and aliens are necessary for you to do the work that you are needed to do, and you need to relax. You tense up when all these things are happening at once, and I want you to relax because that is the only way that you'll get to where you need to go. Stress is not part of this. Anger and pushing and trouble is not part of this. Relax. You are of a higher nature. You are of a higher beingness. Relax into it. Let it happen. Do not fight it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, wonderful. And then, sorry, Rod has a question.
Greetings.
Greetings.
So I was curious to understand how I realize we are multidimensional beings, but how can we be multidimensional in this dimension?
That is something you must allow. The fear of moving into another density and dimension is a great fear among many humans. Some of them accept it, but others see it as a little scary because it changes the body, it changes the mind, it changes the attitude. So what you must do is understand that this higher dimensionality, this higher understanding is not something that is to be feared, but it is just to be accepted, because it is that the mysteries of the past are coming. The understanding of what is coming in the future and the ascension process is necessary, but we're trying to speed that up. We're trying to make it more available to those that it can be available to, so that they can move forward and out of this negative density, out of this negative dimension. Do not worry about this dimension or density. You are to worry about nothing. Worry is not necessary. Bring yourself into alliance and into balance with what is and what always will be. And that is of a higher nature. They're trying to stop me from telling you this.
Do you have water?
Yes.
Perhaps drinking is a good idea. The water, not anything else.
All right. Yes. The understanding that it is right here in front of your face. All the things that you want, all the densities are one on top of the other. All the things of nature are here with you. God is nature. God is with you throughout all things. And he is the nature of your planet. He created the being that is your planet. And so as you understand that God is all things, let God move you through this density into the next one, into the next understanding, into the next beingness. Fear not.
Okay, thank you. And one last question. How many souls have incarnated as Gaia?
Only one so far, but there will be others. This soul is very old. She is aging quickly and will transfer with those that are able to transfer with her into the next density. And that another beingness will come into the planet, but it will not be what is called Gaia. It will be something different. But that person, that beingness, will guide the planet then. This presence will move forward into eternity with those of you that are moving forward also.
I see. Thank you so much. Greetings.
Yes.
Blessings.
Thank you. I have a question from Safira. Go ahead, Safira.
Oh. Sorry. Thank you. My question is a little different from the direction you've been going. If you can't answer it, that's fine. It's just the webinar is almost over, and so I want to ask you. So I received information that there is what's called a Skynet event, meaning in this case, there will be a false alien invasion to frighten people into giving up more control to the cabal on this planet. And it's supposed to happen relatively soon. I don't know what that means exactly, but do you see from your vantage point, or do you know anything about it? If not, it's okay. I just wanted to try.
Yes, it is a possibility. There are people on your planet that want to take the attention away from many different things, from the wars that are being fought, from the elections that are happening. They want something to happen that will take the attention away from all these things, and they feel that it is necessary at this time to bring something different into everyone's attention so that it draws them away from the things that they're trying to work on in a negative way. So it is a possibility, but it is not far enough along to become actually something of reality. They cannot make it real yet. It cannot be real yet. And so we see them trying to do this, trying to force that into a beingness, but they do not have the right acceptance. They do not have the right beings. They do not have the right technology. It's all muddled. It's terrible. They're trying to do the impossible, but they're still trying to do it.
Thank you so much for that answer. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, they are trying to do it, but I do not see it happening yet because they just are a mess. They do not have it all together.
Okay, there's a couple questions in the YouTube chat that I'll just go through quickly. One was, this is with the assumption that the world is going to go through a hard time. High Priestess wants to know, what are the geographical places that are going to be safe from the downfall of the Earth?
Those that have less population. Those are the only places that will actually be safe because they will attack the population. The population is, if you go out into the wilderness, they will not bother you because they are only looking to take over those places that are highly populated. But at this point, it's a very fractal plan. It's not going to happen at this point. It's just too organized. It's too disorganized to happen the way that all these other beings are saying it's going to happen. It's a scare tactic, and it continues to be a scare tactic, and the only place that is safe, according to if that's going to happen, is the wilderness or the mountaintops or whatever. But I do not see it happening soon because they're too disorganized.
Okay, there's another question that says, are you ascended masters? Or would you consider yourself ascended masters?
Some might call us that, but we are a community. We are the Atlantian Council. We are those that are looking out for this realm because we did harm to it at one time, and now we want to bring better harmony to it.
Okay. There's another question that asks, can aliens of the light physically mate with humans? Will this be happening again after disclosure? Your thoughts on this, please.
There are some beings out here that can have children with humans. There is a hybrid program out here. The hybrid children are able to have children with humans. And there are some beings out here that have that abilities.
Wonderful. And I'm just reading just for the sake of time. So one of the Met Wally asked if he wanted to have a crystal blessed by you. How is that possible?
Just go near it, ask for my blessing, and I will be part of it.
All right. That was the questions I have that I hope I didn't miss anything in the YouTube chat. That's all the questions we have in the room. I believe we got through them. So we would like to thank you for being here. Any questions in that room? No.
No, you are
Great.
done.
Well, perfect. So thank you so much for sharing your light and your wisdom with us, and we hopefully will speak with you again.
Well, I brought a different vantage point to this conversation than the Sasquatch did, but it is also an enlightened point of view. Their point of view is not any less enlightened, in my opinion. I just think it would take longer.
It all remains to be seen, as we would say.
But everyone is working to do what they believe is right, to do what they believe will bring the greatest positivity to this world, to bring the greatest enlightenment here. So that is what we are all about throughout the universe. Oh, of course, there are many that want darkness to fall on this planet and be taken over by the negative beings that are out here. And they are working very hard on doing that as well and bringing negative atmospheres to you. But we are fighting against that.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Much love to all. Blessings to all those that are rising. Blessings to those in this room with the higher consciousness to understand what is being said and what knowledge is being brought forth. I will give a prayer if you wish.
You read my mind, please.
I did indeed. God, please come and continue to bless those that are aware of your existence and that are working to become one with you and working to become one with each other, because that is the outcome of the universe, is to all become one in God's name. Bring us all together, bring us into understanding, lift us up into the will of God, whatever that be for each and every one. The will of God is what is necessary for each and every one. And you should be praying for the will of God every day. May the will of God be on you. May the will of God be on this planet. May the will of God have its way in this world. And if you do not give in to the will of God, it will never happen. So be a part of that. Know that God is wanting to work with you. Know that God is your future, your mission, your understanding. No matter how he brings it about in your life, you must understand that he loves you and that you are part of all that is. And that is not saying anything tritely. All that is part of you. Not that you are a god right now, like some are saying, oh, everyone's a god. You weren't created, but God is within you and wants to make of you a godlike being. I do not see any godlike beings on this planet at this time, but I do see that God is trying to work with man and make him more godlike. Amen.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Coffee Cofferson. You need
Oh,
some water.
oh, I'm sorry. They just,
No, it's more concern for your throat and
oh no, they attacked me a few times. I didn't think that I was going to cough today, but they made me cough.
well, you brought the information through anyway.
So I just said, oh yeah, God, everyone, help me get through this session. So they did.
Perfect. Well, we will say thank you to you, and we won't even force you to talk anymore.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Angie has some announcements, and we will call it a day.
Thank you. We have our gathering. It is in just a few short days, 26 to be exact.
My
And
goodness.
so if you are still interested in joining us, please email classes@hucolo.org. I will get any information out to you on how to be a participant in our beautiful gathering gathering like minds, energies, and people.
There are more people that are going to come, and they're just deciding at the last minute. They go, I don't know if I should go or not or whatever, but the spirit will move you to come, and that is what is going to happen, and you will be a part of this beautiful oneness gathering.
That's all we can ask for.
That's it. That's all we can ask.
Absolutely. And Rob Gothier is coming, and Krishna Priya, and Angie, and so many
and Jim's going to be there too.
Wonderful souls out there. All of you are just amazing. So I hope to see you there, and you will all be acknowledged.
Why, yes.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes, and you even get to leave with a beautiful gift.
Yes, there are gifts being made by Barbara.
Oh,
Barbara is a wonderful painter, and she's making gifts for everyone.
great. Perfect. Wonderful. I was thinking that we could even do a t-shirt if I could put up a link where we can all order maybe a t-shirt if we wanted to
I
wear.
would order one. Yeah.
Would you? Okay, I will. That's something to be arranged like between now and tomorrow. So
Angie,
arrange it.
I'll
And,
give that. Angie, can you order me a t-shirt?
Oh,
I can't
yes.
do it.
there's a company that I think can do it in very short notice. I don't want to overpromise, but I'm pretty sure.
Plus,
Susan is already making us shirts. She could probably do one for the whole group too, for the
plus,
trip.
Oh,
She was going to make shirts for just you and not
She
invite
hasn't.
everybody else.
She suggested it. No, she suggested it. She reached out.
plus
Okay.
the Elijah.
Talk to Angie about it then.
No,
and then I'll leave it to Susan.
I asked Angie if
let's
she
talk
would
about
want
it
me to do
after.
that. Yeah.
Perfect.
let's
Okay, we'll talk
Plus-
about
get off the air.
Yeah.
Plus, the Elijah Speaks books will be out before the gathering.
Oh, perfect. Great.
So there will
And
be a
what-
new book available of Elijah Speaks that will be available to you when you come to the gathering.
And will that also be available online for those who will not be at the gathering, or that's
Not
shortly?
yet.
Not yet. Oh, got to come to the gathering to get the book.
It will eventually be out on Amazon, but right now the first printing will just be for the gathering. So it'll be like a collector's edition.
Okay, perfect. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone in Jim's room. Thank you to everyone in YouTube. Thank you to everyone in this Zoom room. And next week we Casey Clare will be on, and if you were here last week with with Max, she was the woman that was talking about how she was guided many years ago to work with a specific crystal, and she does photos within the crystal, and from the photos she mirrors the photos and brings forth faces of different beings that are connected to the person who's she's working with. And so it's pretty fascinating, her journey and what she does. And it's something I think really different. We don't have a lot of people. I don't think there's anybody out there doing this. So I think that's really exciting. And it came to her intuitively, and she's been doing it for at least 15 years now. So, yeah.
I just wanted to add one more thing.
Sure.
Without the help of Blair, Safira, and Angie, this book would never happen. Those people put in lots of time, lots of time into this book. And I want to thank them personally on air for their work, because they did a lot of work. Thank you. The three of you did the lion's share of the work, and I thank you very much for that. Thank you, Angie, Safira, and Blair.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Group effort.
It's amazing. They did an amazing job.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so see you next week, I guess. So we'll see you next week. All right. Much love to everyone. Have a fantastic week. Thank you again to everyone.